Welcome back, dear friends. I'm grateful to share this time with you again. Every time we meet here, it's a chance to reflect deeply on our lives, our relationships, and the ancient truths that guide us toward peace and clarity. Today's topic might seem simple at first glance, perhaps even outdated to some, but I promise you, it holds the potential to transform your entire family, to your personal karma, and the unseen energy shaping your home. We are going to explore something many people struggle with in silence: the relationship between a daughter-in-law and her mother-in-law. Why does this dynamic cause so much pain in so many households? Why do so many families experience disharmony because of it? And more importantly, how can shifting your attitude toward your mother-in-law become the very key that unlocks generational healing? Let me begin with a real story, one that reveals more than just human emotions. It unveils the law of cause and effect, the wisdom of humility, and the hidden power of a woman's heart. There was a young woman who married into a family that ran a small restaurant. Her husband worked alongside his parents, and she, too, helped in the kitchen and dining area. At first, she thought she was entering a life of shared work and mutual support. But very soon, friction began to emerge. Her mother-in-law was strict, frugal to the point of severity, and often criticized her for the smallest things. If she bought a new coat, it was considered wasteful. If she wanted to upgrade the gas for cooking, she was told to wait. Even when she tried to buy proper clothing for her child, she was scolded for not making them wear larger, hand-me-down sizes to save money. The young woman felt humiliated. She thought, "I left my family to marry into this home, and now I'm treated like a servant." She began harboring resentment. Small arguments grew into shouting matches. Her heart hardened. She urged her husband to leave the family business. Eventually, they did. And yet, her life did not improve. Her first child began falling ill constantly. Fevers, infections, allergies. No matter how carefully she took care of him, he always seemed fragile. She spent sleepless nights in hospitals, wondering what she did wrong. Then one day, something clicked. She realized a pattern. Every time she fought with her mother-in-law, her child's health declined. And every time she apologized or stayed silent, he stabilized. It wasn't coincidence. It was karma. It was energetic resonance. This realization changed everything. She began to reflect not on her mother-in-law's faults, but on her own reactions. She started seeing her anger not as justified, but as inherited pain. She remembered stories of her own mother's sacrifices. She wondered, what if this woman too, that suffered silently to raise her son? What if her frugality came from a lifetime of hardship? So she began to change. She no longer argued. When her mother-in-law spoke sharply, she listened calmly. She found moments to be kind, to offer tea, to give small gifts without expectations. At first, it felt fake. Then it became natural. Then it became joy. Something magical happened. Her child's health improved. Her marriage softened. Her mother-in-law, once cold, began opening her heart. There were no dramatic apologies, no grand emotional reconciliation, as just small gestures, shared smiles, a sense of peace filling the house. She said, it wasn't about winning. It was about healing. This story is not about submission. It's about wisdom. In Buddhist teachings, our parents and elders hold sacred energy. They are not just biological beings. They are vessels of karmic transmission. To honor them is to honor the lineage that shaped you. When we resist them, fight them, judge them, we are not breaking free. We are simply extending cycles of pain. But when we choose to bow not in defeat, but in love, we dissolve karma. We heal wounds that stretch beyond this lifetime. Your mother-in-law is not your enemy. She is your mirror. She reflects the parts of you that are still rigid, proud, reactive. And when you transform that reflection, your entire family benefits. Think of it like this: your home is a temple. The energy within it determines your fate. If that temple is filled with resentment, power struggles, and emotional coldness, it becomes a prison. But if it's filled with forgiveness, respect, and gentleness, it becomes a sanctuary. Your children feel this. They may not understand the words you exchange, but they absorb the emotional frequency. A child raised in tension learns to fight. A child raised in reverence learns to love. I know a woman who never liked her husband's mother. She kept her distance for years. When her own daughter grew older and began speaking to her with disrespect, she was heartbroken. Then, a friend said, "She's showing you what you showed your mother-in-law." That truth stung. But it woke her up. She started calling her mother-in-law, sending small gifts, including her in celebrations. Her daughter, without being told, began treating her more gently. That's how karma works, not as punishment, but as education. This is not about being perfect. It's about being aware. Maybe your mother-in-law really is difficult. Maybe she's critical, cold, or passive-aggressive. But remember, you are not responsible for her behavior. You are responsible for your response. And your response shapes your karma. Try this practice. Each morning, offer a silent blessing to your mother-in-law, even if you're still angry. Even if you don't feel like it, say, "May you be healthy, peaceful, and free from suffering." Say it from the heart. You may cry, you may resist. That's okay. Healing is not linear. Then, once a week, do something kind for her without telling anyone. Not for her approval. For your soul's cleansing. Over time, the energy will shift. Maybe not dramatically, but enough. Enough to bring peace. Enough to break cycles. Enough to change destiny. Because here's the truth. When a daughter-in-law and mother-in-law find harmony, the entire family enters a different vibration. Children grow happier, husbands feel steadier, ancestors smile, generations heal. It begins with one heart choosing softness over pride. Thank you for watching this video. If you've experienced transformation in your family through kindness or shifted relationships with your elders, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. We grow when we share. And if this message touched you, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so we can keep walking this beautiful path together. Until next time, honor deeply, love patiently, and remember, healing starts at home.